What if I told you there's a body over 470 years old lying in Goa, still remarkably well preserved? No, this isn't the plot of a movie. This is the story of Saint Francis Xavier, whose body has become a relic of faith, history, and in October 2024, even controversy. Let's break it down in today's episode of the India Today Culture Project. After his death in 1552 on Shangchuan Island off the coast of China, Francis Xavier's body was initially buried on the island by his companions. Given the distance from Goa and other Jesuit missions, his fellow Jesuits intended to temporarily bury him there, planning to return his remains to Goa eventually. When his body was exhumed several months later to be transported to Malacca in present-day Malaysia, it was reportedly found to be in a remarkable state of preservation, showing no signs of decomposition at all. Now, this was considered miraculous by his followers and was attributed to His Holiness. His body was then taken to Malacca, where it was buried again temporarily before being exhumed and sent to Goa. Why so many temporary burials, I wondered, and I found his companions buried him in Shangchuan Island because they had no immediate way to transport his body to a more prominent location. Moving the body across such long distances took time, and so his body was temporarily buried in Malacca while further arrangements were made. Now, Goa was always the intended destination, both because of Xavier's missionary work there and because it was the Catholic center in the region. Each burial was a step toward that final, meaningful resting place. When Xavier's body arrived in Goa, the story of its miraculous preservation had already spread far and wide. People were amazed. How could a body remain so intact after death? Was it His Holiness or was it something else?
Because of him, the faith of people in Goa increased. And till today, people believe that if Goa is safe and sound, it's because of him.
The Jesuits in Goa arranged for the body to be interred in the city, and soon it became a symbol of devotion for Catholics, drawing believers to the city. Today, if you visit Goa, you'll find his body enshrined here, the Basilica of Bom Jesus, one of the most famous churches in India. Built in 1605, this church became Xavier's final resting place in 1624. Even UNESCO could not ignore its significance. It's now a World Heritage Site. Now, what's really striking is how Xavier's body is housed in a silver casket designed by an Italian sculptor, Giovanni Battista Fuggini. The casket itself is an art piece with intricate carvings that tell the story of his life. But here's the twist. His body is not in continuous public display. It's usually kept in an elevated position, preserved behind glass. But once every 10 years, something special happens. The believers call it the exposition of the relics. For 40 days, the casket is brought down and thousands of pilgrims come from around the world to see it, pray and seek blessings. It's a grand event with processions and ceremonies. The last one happened in 2014. Mark your calendars because the next one's going to happen very soon in 2024. After more than 470 years, Xavier's body is still there, remarkably well preserved. Many see this as a miracle, but of course, where there's faith, there's also skepticism. Some suggest that it could have been embalming techniques or Goa's dry climate that helped preserve the body. But here's the thing, the Catholic Church has not officially made this a miracle. They acknowledge the mystery, but leave it up to the faithful to decide. Now, what's a story without a few twists, right? Parts of Xavier's bodies did not stay in Goa. In fact, in 1614, his right arm, the one he used to baptize converts, was sent all the way to Rome. Other smaller relics were distributed to Jesuit missions around the world. Despite the long-standing veneration, there have been controversies surrounding the body's authenticity as well. One of the earliest claims surfaced in 1792, alleging that the Jesuits secretly transported Xavier's real body to Portugal and replaced it with another priest's remains. This theory was reignited a couple of decades back as well, but did not gain much traction. More recently, a new claim from Sri Lanka suggested that Xavier's body was lost at sea during his journey to Goa and replaced by the remains of a Buddhist monk named. Sri Lankan journalists and media outlets pushed this narrative, but it has been mostly dismissed by experts and it has also failed to convince most Goans. Xavier's body is not just a relic, it's a symbol of Goa's deep ties to Christianity, colonial history and missionary work. Even today, he's considered the patron saint of Goa, Goenchi Sahib they call him, and his tomb remains a major pilgrimage site. So whether you see it as a miracle or a mystery, one thing is for sure: the enshrinement of St. Francis Xavier's body in Goa is an extraordinary mix of faith, tradition and history, and it's a story that continues to draw pilgrims and curious travelers from around the world, even 470 years after his death. That's the story of St. Francis Xavier's body. What do you think? Could there be a scientific explanation, or is this truly a miracle?
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.